take care of the crew. Metalhead here is their version of the 401k plan. Their tip jar. Please take good care of them.
Yeah. I just like local food.
소리 엄청 듣기 싫어. 아 그래? 안 부드러워. 귀가 왜 이래? 중성만 수술했나? 이게 발랐어?
모습 붙여.
Goat milk please, and add great taste to the cheese. Yes. Last but not least, we have La Mancha. Too, right? What they do is they rub all over each other to show each other affection, and those bucks especially rub on the fence to show us affection. So we're gonna ask if you want to feed him. Hi, beautiful. But just remember, with him, you gotta go over the fence. No, these guys are going to take every opportunity they get to be topped off because they know they're top dog. Woo! Wow. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's beating you to the challenge, dude. I wonder if it's your hat. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Anyway, there are no predators here.
저랑 이인은 슈퍼시는. 근데 이거는 맛있어? Let's do like this one. Oh yeah, you guys should try with